Awesome. You're welcome to Cascador Live. I'm very excited to be here today with Amanda. I'm going to share my screen quickly. Awesome. Amanda is the program director of Cascador, and it's good to have you here, Amanda.
Great to be here.
My name is Blessing Mene. I'm the co founder of Cascador, and I'm super excited today to be hosting Amanda. The goal of today's meeting is simple. We want to talk about Cascador. We want to talk about a number of things that concerns Cascador, such as what is Cascador, who is eligible to apply, why is it important to apply to Cascador. Then we're going to dive into the Cascador questions, the application questions. We'll go into a deep dive, going through them one by one. We'll move quite fast. Then after that, we're going to open it up to, like, we're going to have a conversation about what we look out for when we review applications. Yeah, what makes Cascador say yes or no to certain applicants. We're going to dive into that. Then after that, we're going to use hopefully the last 20 minutes to answer questions from the audience today. Okay, so this is meant to be a really short meeting that should last hopefully 60 minutes to 80 minutes. So we would try to use the time really well. Okay, so I'm going to roll off by talking about Cascador. So Cascador, let me share this tab. So you can go to the website cascador.org, www.cascador.org, to read more about the Cascador program. Okay. Well, what is Cascador? The idea of Cascador really started some years ago, right? And there's always been this dream of how might we connect veteran entrepreneurs and experts with middle stage entrepreneurs who are already making a lot of progress with their businesses, but they're looking for that next big leap in their career. So, for example, that would mean someone like Dave, as you can see here, Dave, who happens to be a highly successful entrepreneur with tens of millions of dollars in sales. How do we get someone like Dave to talk to, you know, Sheun, or to talk to any entrepreneur in Nigeria who is probably making $1 million, $2 million in revenue? So, if we're able to connect a Dangote to an entrepreneur who's trying to break out, what happens? That is the idea of Cascador. So, in even formulating the name, the idea was cascade, to cascade knowledge from highly successful entrepreneurs and experts to middle stage entrepreneurs. So, just think of Cascador that way. All right. Now, over the last couple of years, we've been working on Cascador for, I think, roughly 5 years now. We've had multiple cohorts already. Um, Over the last couple of years, part of what we really focused on with regards to Cascador has been two things. How do we accelerate the growth of your business as an entrepreneur? That's number one. And number two, how do we take your leadership to the next level? It is really critical to understand at this point that in order to have an impact on any business or organization, there are two things you need to do differently. Number one, improve the leadership of that organization. And number two, help the business grow in terms of their strategy. So Cascador really is that place you come to as an entrepreneur to become a better leader, right? To become a better leader. That's number one, which means that we're looking for the kind of people who are essentially open-minded. Okay, these people are open-minded people. These people are people who are ready to take feedback. These people are people who are ready to um, take their businesses to the next level. Now, in terms of what do you call it? In terms of the business itself, we pay a lot of attention to a number of things, right? First of all, Sorry, I'm seeing a number of people trying to.
Okay, so if you have like just the videos for the speakers, so videos and audio just for the speakers of the session, there's a chat box where you can drop your questions now, but just so that we avoid distractions or outside noise, please be on mute and then have your videos off. Thank you very much. Blessing was just going through Cascador, how it started, why it started, and really what's the idea behind Cascador. So you have to put your video off, not on, off, and also be on mute for this part of the session. Okay, Blessing, please go on.
Okay, thank you very much, Amanda. Well, I was just emphasizing on two things. Number one, in order to grow as a leader. Number two, in order to grow as a business, these are the two things you need to focus on to take your organization to the next level. So, what we do at Cascador essentially is to help you focus on these two things. All right. These are the two things we help you focus on at Cascador. Now, I would like to dive briefly into some of the eligibility criteria on our website, right? So, if, for example, you're applying to the Cascador program, one of the things we would expect you to do is to come on the website, right, to read about Cascador, right? Every information is here. You can read about the program, how this program helps to impact on African entrepreneurs. Um, Something to keep in mind is that the Cascador program is highly intensive. Right from day one, it was designed to be so, right? We do a lot of work on your leadership skills. And part of what we do is that we run some form of personality assessment on you. And that's been led by one of our experts called Lisa. And then the second thing we try to do is to help you take a look at your business model, right? And the purpose of this is to really help you understand what are the levers of growth, what are the areas of weaknesses you could improve on, and what are the strengths you already have that you could that you could focus on to take your business to the next level. And then finally, Cascador helps you to be very clear about your value proposition, which is when you talk to your customers, right, or when you talk to investors, how do you communicate your value in the simplest and clearest way possible? The program itself comes with several benefits beyond your growth as a leader and beyond the support you get in terms of growing your business strategically. What you also get is like you get 6 months of mentorship support after the Cascador program. So you're not left alone. So, like, okay, when the program happens, right? At the end of the accelerator program, for example, you're not abandoned, right? We take care of you for at least 6 months, and the purpose of that is because during the program you're getting all this sort of feedback to improve your leadership. You're getting a lot of feedback to improve your business. We're going to pair you with an expert who will help you implement that, who would guide you along the process. So you're in the driver's seat, but you're also getting support from a top expert or a top entrepreneur who will be guiding you along the way. And then finally, if along the way, maybe you need to go for a conference, buy a book, or you need to hire a coach or someone that will help you grow yourself professionally, we have $5,000 allocated to you specifically for that. Now, if you get into this program, right, beyond all these benefits that you get, something else that you get is that you become an alumni. An alumni qualify to get funding from Cascador. So, as some of you are already aware, we have a $2 million catalytic fund that goes strictly to alumni. So we have alumni from every part of Nigeria, and we're excited to support them. Some of our alumni have gotten small checks. By small checks, it could mean 100 million naira. Um, and some have gotten larger checks. And by larger checks, I mean 2 billion naira, 1.5 billion naira, and all that. So, if you're looking for funding, hopefully to grow your business beyond getting this mentorship support, educational support, and all that, you would also have the opportunity to get access to cash that would help you grow your business. And this is being done by Cascador in partnership with Sterling Bank Nigeria. Okay, we're excited about this, and I would like to hand over to Amanda to take things up from here.
And thank you, everyone. So, one of the things that Blessing said that I would like to touch on is we don't just abandon you. So, one of the differentiators about Cascador and other accelerator programs is that we're focused on the entrepreneur and not just the venture. We've had cases where people have come into the program and even pivoted from their initial business idea. We still continue to support the entrepreneur through their own journey. We've also had cases where the entrepreneurs have gone on to other ventures or even gone back into the workforce and they still receive the support of Cascador. So it's almost a once a Cascador, always a Cascador. One of the things that I would say to anyone applying for the program and to any program in general is to really lean into the program. So a lot of people are almost on autopilot where they don't give their best to certain things or they just feel like they already have a preconceived notion. They know what is about to happen, so they're not paying as much attention as they need to. Because again, is it? Oh, it's the same thing, or so you hear people say. What's the new thing you're going to hear? And meanwhile, there is a great benefit of leaning into any program or anything that you decide to do. So there's a major difference with that, and it's just something that I would want to advise everyone to do. So I'm going to try to share my screen now where we look at the applications themselves. So we have the applications directly on the Cascador website. Blessing has been so kind to touch on our eligibility criteria, which is, I'll just mention it again. We've seen the prizes to be won. There's a $5,000 stipend. There's also $50,000 in prizes to be won. We did that for the first time last year. I think I would even let Blessing talk more on that. So basically, we pick only 10 people per year, but beyond the $5,000, there's the opportunity to win at least one of these three prizes. Blessing, do you want to talk briefly on that before I go deeper into the application?
Yeah, sure. So, in terms of the prices that you get, right? Um, Again, we've talked about the $5,000 stipend. That money goes to everybody. So long you're selected, you actually get that money, right? So everybody gets that money. Now, in terms of the other prices, we have a $50,000 prize, which goes towards what do you call it? The best pitch during the program. That's number one. Number two would be you. We also have what we call like an exemplary prize award. Okay, which goes to the entrepreneur who demonstrates Cascador's core values. Okay, that that person also gets a prize. Then finally, we have impact price. So we take a look at the businesses. We understand that some of the entrepreneurs who are applying are not going to be for like they're going to be doing for-profit businesses, but they would also have some form of impact in terms of social impact on their clients. Number one. Number two, it could be in terms of the impact they are having on their customers, right? That's also something we look at, or it could be the kind of impact that they have on the environment, right? So we look at everything and then we decide which entrepreneur is having the biggest impact, right? And they get that prize also. So it's $50,000, and that $50,000 is distributed among these three entrepreneurs.
Okay, so 50,000 is the total prize money. There's 20,000 for best impact, 20,000 for best pitch, and $10,000 for the exemplary cascader. So that's 3 out of 10 prizes to be won. Of 10, 3 out of 10 people who would win those prizes. Okay, you've seen our criteria to apply, and then now we're moving deeper into the application. Can you still see my screen clearly?
And good evening, ma.
Good evening. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm scrolling to get through to the application portal itself. So please hold on. Let
Okay.
me. Okay. Hmm.
So Amanda is working on pulling out the application form. Um, the application form contains a series of questions that we ask every year. They haven't really changed much over the last couple of years. So our hope today is that we can go through them one by one. Some of you may have already reviewed these questions on your own. Okay. But if you go on the website, you will see apply now. I'm just going to drop it on the chat just in case.
Okay. So please mute yourselves if you're. Could you please go on mute? Okay. So this is the application portal. We have all the questions directly on the website. So we have a portal for our initial system that we use, Blackboard. It's still very much valid. But now, as we count down 5 days to submission, we decided to make this very easy for everyone who's looking to apply last minute. So now we have the eligibility questions. These questions are very important. The first thing is your business operating in the country of Nigeria? We expect that all the businesses that we fund are in Nigeria. Our focus is on Nigeria at this time. Again, have you been operational for 2 years or more? We only take in businesses who have been in business for at least 2 years. And the reason for that is we know how hard and difficult the entrepreneurship journey is. And we want to be able to properly support people who are going to go the long haul, meaning that we have such a long process before the program is over, and we only invest in people who have completed our entire education system. We don't want a situation where the business or the founder closes down within that period of time. So we have you been operational for 2 years? That should be yes. If it's no, then you know that you do not qualify. The second one is the third, does your business generate annual revenue of 50 million or more? Again, the traction in terms of revenue is very important for the businesses we support. Why? We want to know that you have paying customers. The best type of capital for any business is money from or revenue from your customers. We want to know that there is traction and that people need the service. So this is revenue, not necessarily profit. So does your business generate 50 million or more? The answer should be yes. If it's no, we might not be able to support you. So now you have to fill in the proper information, company name, what's the name of the business location. We want to track where our applications are coming from and also the regions where you are serving. We have a number of our cohorts that are outside of Lagos. We have people operating in Kaduna. We have people who are also operating in Abuja. And I think we had someone from Port Harcourt at some point. So that business location is important. We want to serve not just Lagos, but other underserved regions across Nigeria. So here we ask you to fill out your government tax identification number. Again, the businesses we want to support, we want you to have gone through the legal foundation to set up your business. The primary address, then the industry. Are you in the agricultural sector? Are you in hospitality? Are you in healthcare? Those are the things that we expect to see. Then, what does your company do? One of the hallmarks of a great founder is being able to summarize what you do, like you're talking to a 5-year-old child. So, we have a 25-word limit here, meaning you must be concise in explaining exactly what your business does in 25 words. Now we ask for the URL. We want to check out your website. You should have web presence. This is not necessarily compulsory. If you don't have it, you could do a non-applicable, but it's important to us for the standard or the quality of businesses to have some sort of online presence. And of course, because we have an eligibility We have what year was your company founded? And then how many full-time employees do you have? So again, at Cascador, we're focused on
Hello, ma. Please, your mic is
Sorry,
muted.
your
Your signal
mic
is
is
muted.
muted.
We
okay.
can't hear you, ma.
Okay. At what point were you not hearing?
Just few seconds ago, like we stopped hearing you for a
After
second.
the year,
Okay, so
full-time employee. Full-time employee.
how many full-time
Impact.
employees? So our one of the things that we focus on at Cascador is that we want to see people who are impacting their communities, and job creation is one of the metrics that we use to track impact. Meaning, how many full-time employees do you have? It's important to state how many people you are directly providing jobs or sustenance to in terms of they make a living by working with your company. So here is just trying to get to know the backers of the business. Give me a second, please.
So Amanda will be coming back shortly. I think she's about to move into the part of the application form that has to do with your contact information as the owner. It's really important that you, as the CEO, is your contact that is there. Do not use the contact of your staff. The reason for this is because we want to be able to contact you directly if we need to clarify anything in the course of the application process. Okay, so Amanda is back. Carry on.
Yes, so thank you for taking that on. Another thing you notice from our track record of Cascaders is that we're not necessarily looking for people younger than a certain age. We don't have any age limits. We have quite a number of mature persons who are in our business, which is another thing that is different from accelerator programs that you see. We do not have any bias for youth or will I say younger people. So please don't feel intimidated in any way. We welcome people of all ages to apply for this. And then, of course, your LinkedIn. We want to see more about you just on your social media, and LinkedIn is our preference. And then your position with the company. Also, we have the secondary contact. So that's for most likely your co founder or someone very senior within your organization. If you don't have one, it's okay. You can put non applicable there. And now we go into impact. So again, we are focused on creating impact through enterprise, through entrepreneurship. We believe that societies will function not on grants, not on aid, but through businesses, through entrepreneurship. And that's what we believe will make the greatest impact in Nigeria and in the world at large. So we want to hear how you're changing lives, how you're making things better for people around you. So your top three impact metrics, these are just examples. You don't have to use the exact one. It doesn't mean that if you're not serving farmers or you're not giving loans, it doesn't mean you're not creating impact. Your impact could be in other areas. It could be sustainability, it could be gender inclusion, it could be trainings, it's why. So you have to define what impact is to your organization. So I'll give an example. With Messenger, we had, you can use the SDG goals as a way to track. So this is just a cheat code for those who have joined this call. So basically, if you search the UN SDG goals, you will find a number of sustainable development goals, and those goals are tied to impact. You see things like job creation, you see things like sustainable cities, you're going to see things like financial inclusion, you're going to see things that have to do with the environment and gender, no hunger. So that can give you an idea of what to look for or how to describe your impact. And again, impact is trackable. Please, if you are not one of the speakers, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Impact is also measurable. If you have something like job creation, you need to know, okay, in 2023, how many people did you employ? If you have something that's focused on sustainability, how many tons of plastic Were you able to recycle? Those are things that you can put as the values here. If it's training, how many people did you train? If it's farming, how many tons of produce? Those are ideas or examples of things that you could use to define your impact. And then we are looking at having one, two, three impact metrics that you can include here. And again, like I mentioned, job creation is very important. If you're in Nigeria, you know that the largest employer of labor is the SME. Now, I want to ask, how many customers do you serve per year? A lot of people are B2B businesses, and for B2B businesses, you might be serving as little as four customers, and that's not a detrimental value to us. It's just knowing that you have an idea of what your actual customer profile is, and then any important innovation or value creation are you pushing. So this is a point where you can also shine. There are a number of people doing things that are not mainstream. So this is where you tell us one of the innovative things that you're doing. If you're solving for example, for fake drugs, if you've created a matrix where people can track that, if you're like Money Point and you're solving for trust where people can immediately see their payments as they're sent. So this is where you talk about your innovation. And then now, how are you unlocking opportunities for underprivileged and marginalized communities? Again, impact through enterprise. So how are you helping the people around you? And this should also give you an idea of the applicant profile we're looking to join the cohort. We want people who actually care about making a positive mark on this world. So now we talk about the financials. If you notice, a lot of applications might not go deep into the nitty-gritty of this. You need to tell us your revenue and then your gross profit and your net profit. I have to mention that there are some businesses that might be making revenue but might not be profitable. This does not disqualify you. We're looking to help your business grow, and we hope that, and one of the success stories that we're able to tell is that after the Cascador program, you became profitable, but you must have revenue. And now, fundraising highlights. We want to know if you've raised money before. And just to mention, if you've never raised, it's not detrimental. It means that you've been bootstrapped, and it shows the amount of resilience you have as a founder in today's Nigeria if you've never raised. So it's not a good or bad thing. Just fill out as honestly as you can. Then if your business is not profitable, you can see that we've accommodated for businesses who are not making profit yet. What is your monthly burn rate? This simply means how much do you spend every month to run your operations. Then we want to know how much cash do you have in hand. And then what is your runway? Runway simply means that if you don't get any money, how many months do you have to shut down the business because of lack of funds? I'll mention here that we want you to be alive long enough for you to even apply the learnings and the things that Cascador would give to you. For example, you don't receive this personal development stipend till the end of the program, which is all the way in November. So if your business is dependent on that money and it's going to die before November, you would not be a good fit for us. So attach anything here, your traction, create a graph in Google Sheets. Your pitch deck, we prefer PowerPoint or Google Slides. Please do not submit a PDF. Please do not submit a PDF. Then a 1 minute video which describes your company. Try to be concise. Again, a mark of a great founder is being able to say something meaningful about your business within a minute. Then it shows that you know exactly what you're doing. Not we optimize the supply chain distribution by doing visibility. That doesn't say anything. If you understand what I'm saying, it should be as simple and concise as possible. Then upload any additional files, anything you think would help or support your application. Please send us that. You could do, it could be newspaper articles, it could be things around the success of your business. And another tip I'll give for those who have joined this call is that for this application and maybe others, even if you see something that is optional, this is what separates excellent people from people who are average, that they go the extra mile. So please, whether you see optional or not, still send in those uploads. Then he said, submit a 1 minute video describing your strengths and weaknesses as a leader. So you're not going to say, oh, this is another tip here. Don't say my major weakness is that I work so hard. People are always telling me how hard I work, and we don't want anything like that. We want to, when we're asking for your weaknesses, to also know how we can best support you and what we'll need to give you that is beyond money or cash. So your weakness could be something as I am so heavy on the operations of my business that I'm not a good marketer or storyteller for the business. I'm not able to do storytelling, but because I'm so heavy on the operations, that's something that sounds like a good weakness to share. You could share another weakness to say, I'm very great with business development and relationship management, but I struggle with creating the financials or managing the financials for my business. We're making a lot of money. So those are the things we want to hear, not I work so hard. My one of my weaknesses, I don't know how to delegate. I like to do everything by myself because I'm such an excellent person. No, we're not looking for those kind of answers. So the self-awareness and a bit of vulnerability are things that would, get you into Cascador quicker than, if you were creating a fluff application. So now the final questions. If you were nominated by a Cascador, alumni or faculty enter their name here. So we allow for our alumni or people within our ecosystem to, be able to lend their name behind your application. So if you were nominated by someone, or if you, for example, warmed your way into Blessing's heart and he's willing to do a nomination for you, this is where you put his name, Blessing Mene, or somebody who, please don't put the name of someone who has not nominated you, because we'll be going back to check with the names that you've written here. We'll ask, oh, this person said you nominated them. How is she like? How is he like? What do you think? So please only put names here of people who have actually nominated you. And you can go a step further by asking them to write an email to the Cascador nominating you. So yes, is there anything else you'd like to tell us? This could be no or yes. How did you hear about Cascador? If it's on this call, please mention explainer session with Blessing Mene and Amanda. So that's really it. And then we obviously have the legal aspect of things. You've seen that we've asked for a lot of information, so we want to also let you know how we're going to use your information and just basically get your consent. So that's what this application disclaimer is about. And of course, upload your signature and submit. So that's about it. That's how to apply for the Cascador program.
Thank you very much, Amanda. So maybe we go into the back and forth about, maybe we'll start with the review process, okay? And then we can also talk about why we say yes and why we say no to applicants. So, for example, every year, like for the last, since we started Cascador as an organization, I've reviewed applications. So I kind of have a sense of like what it takes to get selected and what it takes to get declined. Okay. But before we go into that, I think let's talk about the process, right? Of reviewing applications. Just high level, no details about who exactly is in it. Do you want to talk about what the process looks like after we receive the application on the back end?
Okay, so for a number of people who have already started sending messages to some of us to say, oh, hey, this has been submitted, we do not review any applications till the last of it has come in. And it's better for you to have submitted early. You give us a chance to maybe request corrections or amendments where you've not submitted the right document. So I always advise, well, you're already at the late submission stage if you've not submitted by now. So if you're submitting early, you get the benefit of, if you miss out something, there's somebody that reaches out to you to say, oh, hey, please correct this. But as at this time, your final submission would be your final submission. So that's what I want to say. We then review all the applications. So this year, we have been in your consciousness and in the press quite a bit because of the launch of our Alumni Catalytic Fund, which has gotten some really good press around. So we're expecting quite a number of applications. It's going to be competitive. So we're going to do a first pass at them. And we're going to look at all the applications. We're going to look, and then we might request additional documents if we're interested in your application. So I'm mentioning this now almost as a disclaimer. If you're squeamish or you're uncomfortable sharing financial information, this might not be the right thing to apply for, because we actually are very thorough with the questions that we ask. If you are not able to share those documents, just know that this might not be the right place for you. So yes, we go through that. We ask companies who are interested to share more of their financial details. Afterwards, again, we're not looking for ideas. We want people who have been in business and can really tell us a thing or two. And Collins has asked a very interesting question that I would say here. We are sector agnostic. That should have been one of the first things I mentioned at the beginning. We're not looking for a particular industry, so we're sector agnostic. We do not support one over the other. We just want to be sure that you have a sustainable business. So yeah, so when we receive the large applications, we go through it. We go through a pass. We request informations. We look through everything, and then we wind it down to the semi-finalist level. And at the semi-finalist level, you might have things like interviews. First of all, you might have our founder check in to ask you a few questions, because yes, we've gotten a video from you, yes, we've gotten all your documentation, but there's nothing like interacting with the person to know whether you can work together. One thing I would say again as a bonus tip is that one of the values at Cascador is punctuality. Never mind that I joined this call 3 minutes late. Punctuality is one of our values. If you have a set meeting with anyone from Cascador, I advise you to be on the call at least 5 minutes before, just waiting, because that's something that is endearing to us. Another little tip I'll give, because of course this is Blessings community, and I would be as open as possible where we can, is that gratitude is also one of our values. So, for example, if you are fortunate to get to the semi-finalist stage and you have an interview with somebody, it would be great for you to send a thank you note afterwards. Thank you for your time. The questions you asked were very insightful and allowed me to examine certain parts of my business. I believe that one of my goals for Cascado would then be to improve on some of the issues that you have mentioned. With your guidance, I think that we can go far. This is where we are now, and this is our projection for where we intend to be in 5 years, something like that. What you've done is you've said thank you, and you've in a way had a bit of the last word regarding your business, especially if there were things that you felt you didn't answer properly during that session, because sometimes you can be very nervous. Another thing about the interviews that I would say is, please don't be defensive. I know that nobody knows your business like yours, like you do. But when you're in an interview and maybe some of the questions you feel are a bit harsh, or they're a bit generalistic, or they're assuming about your business, you can just say, I'll take that under advisement. That's not the time for you to argue what you know or what you don't know about the sector or the person. Really, I'll take that under advisement. Oh, I didn't see it. That's not the perspective I had going into this call, but I would look into it. That approach shows that you're teachable, which again is what we want in a cascader. Again, I'm going to pause. Just let me see. Can a school owner apply? Opemi Jonathan, another secret to applications is that study who you're asking, or who you're, I don't want to say who you're getting in bed with, basically. Meaning that if you're very interested in going to Cascado, I would also like you to go through the alumni and try to find trends within who we've picked before. So you asked if a school owner can apply. We had a school owner in the first cohort of Cascado. It's okay for you. We welcome people who are doing schools. It's called Extra Gifts. It's an early it's an early learning center. They're in Surrey actually, and they were one of our first set of cascaders that came in. So we're very open to school owners, and there's a lot of impact in the education space. Just another thing to mention. Yeah, so this session is being recorded. I don't know if Blessing wants to share, but that will be up to him. So another thing, the 50 million turnover will be a letdown for many businesses like mine. Can we still apply despite that? So favor, there are some things where some Yes, there's some things that we'll consider if we're going to, let go of the revenue stance, meaning one, how much impact is your business making? So, what are the things that your business is doing, and what are you innovating that, we cannot look away from your business? Meaning that this guy is doing so well for example, she's doing so well with training tailors. The number of people that are able to testify of the impact is so great that um, I think that we should give this person a chance. And number two, if you're working in a very difficult or hard area where we know that it's tough to run business, that's something we can consider. Okay, so let me go back to interview tips. So after we go through and we screen the semi-finalists, you would have interviews. The first stage of interviews, I've told you the best way to manage that. The second stage of interviews, that means you know that there's something that they really do like about you. So the first stage, you said a thank you and you've talked a bit more. For the second stage, you might not necessarily have to do that again the second time, but you can, for example, this is not a time to say, oh, I don't want to be visible. Share things about your business. Get people to, speak on your behalf, testimonials. The section where they said, is there anything else we should know? If you have testimonials from customers, that's something that you can include in that. Is there anything else we should know part of things? Let people vouch for your business in that time. And then we have only 10 people per year. And I want to say that not getting in the first time is not a bad thing. It's not necessarily the end of the world. I am coming into this as an entrepreneur myself. So for example, just using my own experience, I had to apply for Africa Business Heroes twice to even be to get in. Cascador, I started the application the first time and I did not complete it, and by the second time I then got in. Same for Baobab Network where I received funding. So when you don't get something the first time and you come back with improvements, then people can see your growth even before you start to talk about traction, because there's a difference between when you applied in 2025 and when you applied in 2026. And there's something that has to be said about building relationships and maintaining relationships. We are in Nigeria. A lot of business here is a relationship game. That's something I would like to say to anyone who's building anything. Okay, there's some questions I'll soon pause so that Blessing will take some of them. Can a business that manages about two other businesses in their group and have raised up to 50 million for each business? So you can apply for multiple businesses. You've seen that there's a one space business name. So if you want to apply for MPO, you cannot come and say, okay, but I have 20 million with MPO, but I have 35 with LPM. No, stick to one business, apply with one business, and let's review you based on that. Uh-huh. Where we're asked to upload the graph for, are we to drop a link? Because there's no, yes, you're supposed to drop a link. So try to do that in Google Forms or a Google folder and do that. So yes, I will take a pause and let's Blessing answer this question from Dr. Sambo. Is there anything for agri businesses?
A lot. So we've had
Okay.
some of our companies that have been selected. They actually from the agri sector. We have the likes of Crop to Cash, Ag Free Mash, and a number of organizations that do agri business actually, right, in the country. So yes, please apply to Cascador. Let me see what other questions we have here? What standard documentation of registration should one attach to the application? If you go to the application form, you will see we ask for pitch deck, we ask for your traction, and all that. If you do qualify to the next stage, you're going to be asked for things like your financial statements, all right, or your account statements, which should be ideally prepared by your accountant if you have one. Okay. Then somebody else is asking, I'm in the eye care sector and optometry to be precise. So you can apply. We have a number of people who are doing healthcare. Christine, who is an alumni, she also runs a healthcare organization. Ife runs a healthcare organization and all that. So please apply, irrespective of your sector. Apply. So long you are a legitimate company, please go ahead and apply. Health tech, ed tech, agri tech, which other tech again? Do we have all the tech? Just apply. And if
Let
you're
me let me
techless, also apply.
That's what I was going to say. So we
Yeah,
are not a standard accelerator that is looking for tech-enabled businesses. So we have
exactly.
hospitality businesses within our cohorts. For example, we have Oriki Spa. That's a spa. Xcare is a pharmacy, is a brick and mortar pharmacy that you can actually go and
Mm-hmm,
visit to see. We have Adunia Organics that makes skincare products. So it's not all about adding tech to the name of what you are doing. We're
mm-hmm,
not trying to do that. We're trying to provide real value for real businesses. So if you're a skincare business, please, you're a skincare business. We even have people who are generator businesses within our cohort. So we're not doing anything that is for fluff. We are
mm-hmm.
actually supporting businesses, and we don't need you to add a name tech behind before you are considered. Can a business registered under business name? Yes, you can. How does one go about if you use personal accounts for receiving payments before having a business account? So audited statements is how you go about that, Wura. So when you're trying to create an audit for when you started business, you're going to submit all the accounts where you've received monies to an auditor. And again, when I say auditor, I'm not saying go to KPMG. There are people like Sunday Olayola, there's smaller audit firms that will handle this for you and to
Mm-hmm.
cost you less than, let me just say, an amount to cost you about, let's say 200K, 250K, 300K. You can get an auditor. That's per year of
Mm-hmm.
business, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. So all the accounts you've used, everything you've tracked, your auditor can put together in proper audited statements that you can submit if you were using a personal account before. All right. Is the funding equity free? We want to support you and your business. We're not trying to take 10%, 20%. Our funding is equity free. And for the alumni, we don't want you to reach out to alumni for them to nominate you. We hope that you have a relationship with the person who is going to nominate you because they'll be asked questions around your character, about your business. So it's better for you not to have a stranger nominate you. If you can submit on the strength of your application, you will still be chosen. It's just if you know someone and the person knows you, not like they don't really know you, you can, because it can be detrimental to you if you ask someone who you don't have a good relationship with. They're like, oh, yeah, I know their business, but I think one time they were struggling. You don't really want that. Or I know their business, but that founder is like this. You don't want that. So if you don't have anyone to nominate you, please write an excellent application and submit.
Yeah,
Now,
just a quick
God
one
bless
there.
you.
And if you're
Yes.
an alumni of Fundraising Academy, you can also mention, oh, many nominated you too, right? If you're an alumni of Fundraising Academy, just mention it also. At least that way I can also trace down to the specific individual who applied. Yeah. Mm. Do you want me to continue?
Please continue.
Okay. Oh, I see a lot of praises here from Sheun Olatunde.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you too. Then I want to wrap up. If you have more questions, please drop them on the chat. We're going to go through them. And why that is going on, I would like to wrap up with what are the reasons why we say no to applications and why we say yes to certain applications. First of all, as a caveat, not everybody who applies can be accepted. So many times it's not really about you. It's just the fact that a lot more people applied, and we are only going to select 10 people, right? So by default, we have to reject hundreds of applications. So mostly it's not really about you or if your business is not great. So it's not. We're not judging your business as not great. Okay, it's just that there's 10 slots. That's all. Then number two, think about something. Think about how clear you are in your communication. One of the issues we find is that people who get rejected, they tend not to be clear even about the problem they are solving, right? So they tend to be very vague. What do you do? Oh, we're into the sales processing of cassava, but that is an activity. You're not telling us about the problem you're solving, which may include providing nutritious food for people in XYZ location, somewhere in Nigeria or somewhere in West Africa. Another reason people don't get accepted, funny enough, is that most people do not complete the application form. Okay, so that's going to be an issue. I think Amanda talked about it. So make sure you complete everything on the application form. Another reason people don't get selected is that maybe on the traction form that the traction graph that you're supposed to upload, it was empty. There was nothing there, or the information there was not meaningful. So that is something that you need to fight against. Then something else will be, which I see a lot of time, is that people are not even clear at all in their communication, right? They are not clear. You're answering the questions, somebody reads the question and then they don't even know what you're saying. Or we download the slide and then the slide looks like an ebook, right? Or like a textbook, right? So your slide should just be very simple, probably 10 pages or 12 pages max, with few words, nice graphics, make it look cool, something that someone can read and quickly understand. And most people who review slides don't spend more than 5 or 10 minutes on the slides. Okay, so please make sure that you're very clear. Then I think the number one reason why a lot of people would get rejected would be that they do not meet the Cascador criteria. So remember that the minimum threshold is 50 million. And like Amanda said, even though you don't meet that, that means you have to be super great or you have to be compensating in some other ways with like the impact that you're creating. So yes, so maybe from the impact point of view, then what you're doing makes sense. Another reason why we may look at that differently would be you would realize that somebody who's trying to grow a business in a particular area or region, maybe in the north or somewhere, right? They don't have all the resources to really, grow the business. So like someone who is in Lagos. So in such case, we can look at those things on a case by case basis, on the condition that this person was really clear about their business. They were clear about why this business is innovative and why this business is highly impactful. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Something else I see among the people who get selected is that when they are asked to record their videos, there's a 1 minute video. We watch those videos. Those videos, we watch those videos, and sometimes we make decisions, right, based on the quality of those videos. And by quality, I'm not talking about shooting the video in a studio or with an iPhone or something like that. I'm talking about what you said in the video. Was it clear? Were you being honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, your areas of improvement, in the video? Like how authentic were you in your video? That is really very critical. Then something else we like to see would show in your financials actually, which is like how well is the business growing or improving. And sometimes someone sold maybe last year they just did 10 million or 50 million, and then this year, all of a sudden, they're probably doing like two or three times that particular amount, right? um so one of the issues, one of the good things with that is that this particular, I'm going to throw somebody off this meeting just now. Well, okay. So if, for example, you sold 20 or 30 million 2 years ago, the following year you're just moving from 30 million to 32 million. This year your target is to do 35 million. It means that the business is growing at a snail speed, right? There is no ambition, growth, or development. So we'd like to actually see some form of progress or improvements, in the sales of the business, or the impact that particular business is having. And finally, most importantly, please look at the eligibility criteria and make sure that you are coordinating your responses in alignment with our eligibility criteria. Well, these are a few more tips to help you succeed and all that with your application. We want you to be honest, take our time, complete your application properly, think deeply about the questions we're asking, write real responses. Don't give us an ebook. Be as brief as you need to be, but be as clear as you need to be to pass the point. Okay. I think we'll take the last two questions here, which is if you did not meet some of the eligibility criteria in 2025, will there be an opportunity in subsequent years to apply? Yes. Yeah, so Cascador, although the original plan was for 10 years, but let's see, it might go beyond, right? So I think we're almost midway into that. So I know by God's grace, right, it will continue by next year, right? So we keep seeing how things go. So, yes, there will be opportunity for you to apply to be a part of this program. Uh, Somebody said, what if you provide patient capital and don't get the revenue in the same year? Um, well, we do provide patient capital, which is part of what we did a few weeks ago in Nigeria. Yeah, but we do expect that all businesses should have some form of revenue before they can get access to that patient capital. And usually, the threshold we place, the minimum is around 50 million, right? That's the minimum we put in place. Um,
So we had Patrick raise his hand. So Patrick is also on the Cascador team. Patrick, if you want to come on camera to share some of your thoughts while you
oh,
get
nice.
situated. Yes, so Patrick, please, you can come on camera. I saw a question. Does Cascada open up other investment opportunities? So one of the things that is great about Cascada is the strength of our network. We try to do go-to-market access for people. That's one of the things that we really focus on. Are these strategic partners that you could get? Are they things that we can do to make sure that you're earning more money? Again, the best type of capital is from your customer. So we do everything within our power to ensure that you're connecting better with your customers. In terms of follow-on funding, we've expanded the program this year and we've started to have even more strategic partners, which could include investors at this point. So, Patrick, are you available to join us?
Hi everyone. Good evening, Amanda and Blessing.
Good
I
evening. Wait,
I just wanted to.
listen,
I
can you
just wanted.
spotlight Patrick?
I think Patrick
Oh,
doesn't want to come on video.
Yes, I'm not able to come on video.
all right.
I I just wanted to speak on the video that we require. I've seen a lot of applicants um, who who upload any kind of video that they have about their company that doesn't really answer the question, because there are specific questions that are in that video segment. So it talks about self awareness. And then the other one, it talks about your company, which is the value proposition. So you must upload a video on YouTube and then uh, copy the link from YouTube and post it on that field that is required. It has to be a video that is specific to the question. It's not just any video. So we've seen a lot of instances where people would upload a 10-minute or 15-minute video that talks about their business either on TV or something that is very important, but it doesn't really answer the question. So please just stick to the 1 minute video. Like Blessing said, it doesn't have to be something extravagant. It just has to be uh, clear, succinct, and straight to the point, so that it will answer the question and it will give you a lot more edge. Um, that is the point I wanted to just chip in. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
As an entrepreneur myself, I've been guilty of when you apply for so many things. You just say, "Ah, let me use the one I used for this impact generating video I'm using for Cascade." We've all been there. I'm saying this as like it can be very exhausting. Well, you need to put your best foot forward for everything, and I have been guilty of that. You apply for so many things, and they're all asking for videos. So, you try to. This is as a founder, you mentioned, oh, I was part of this. She drives initiative. You try to crop out she drives, not just doing another video. Just do the 1 minute video. That's what I would say because I've been in that position. But yes, thank you for all your very thorough questions. So, blessing, any more?
Well, I think we have done our best today. I want to keep the time. I want to appreciate everybody who took out time to join today's call, from the Fundraising Academy community, from those of you who saw our post on Cascado social media pages, and from everywhere. We thank you for joining us today. We're really grateful. Please submit your application. The deadline is close. If you do not qualify to meet the criteria this year, please work hard to increase your sales, your impact this year, so that next year you will become eligible. We're so grateful to host you. We will bring you something similar again. We're going to announce it on the groups. All right, we'll bring you another edition of this fantastic program. Um, Please, we're going to. I'm going to drop a comment on Facebook just to rate today's meeting and send me your feedback on how you felt about today's meeting. So just drop your rating on our Facebook so that we can know how today's meeting went. Thank you very much. And to Amanda, thank you very much for making time available to the community. Everyone is excited to hear from you. We're thankful. And also to Patrick, who joined us. Patrick is Cascador Administrator. Patrick Ajamaja. Patrick
Amajam.
yeah, Amajama. Yes, Patrick
I don't think we
Amajama.
got it. So we'll leave Patrick.
Yes. So Patrick is our administrator. He's the one who makes Cascador work. If you get selected, you're going to have an experience with Patrick, and you know how awesome he is. So thank you very much, the Cascador team. Super excited, and on behalf of Dave DeLucier, who happens to be the main founder, and um, Trish Thomas, who happens to be the CEO of Cascador, on behalf of everybody on the Cascador team, our advisors, our board, everybody, thank you very much for being a part of today's program. If you have any other question, community people, please drop it on our group and I'll try to respond. If I cannot respond, I'll send it to Amanda to get responses. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, and do have a good day. We don't want to keep you long. We love you. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah,
Good
good
night.
night.